Transform your space with Ada Grace Cleaning Service. At Ada Grace, we believe a clean home is a happy home. Our professional team offers tailored cleaning solutions that fit your needs and schedule. Whether it's a one-time deep clean or regular upkeep, we use eco-friendly products to ensure a safe and sparkling environment for you and your family. Why choose us? We have a reliable and trustworthy staff, customized cleaning plans, eco-friendly products, satisfaction guaranteed. Let us take care of the mess so you can enjoy your free time. Contact Tanya and Elaine today for a free quote at 601-502-5376 and experience the Ada Grace difference. And oh yeah, tell them Sonya sent you.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonya, and welcome back to She Say Sports. Please welcome learning specialist and tutor services coordinator for the University of Texas Longhorns Athletic Department, Keshia Shelby. What's up, Key? How you doing?
Hi, Sonya. I'm good. I'm good.
So, Keshia, it's been a while since we talked, but let me give y'all a little background on me and Kiki. So Keshia and I, we met in 2011, and she told me about this sports program at Belhaven University. I had just moved back from Dallas, and we are charter members of the first sports administration program at Belhaven University. We got our master's doing that. So we take the sports thing very serious. We pay money for a degree for this. So
Yes.
we had some long nights. Oh my gosh, long days, but we made it through. We made it through.
Dr. Barty still don't believe me when I tell him that I delayed completing my degree because of him.
Yeah, he was he's been on the show before, and I was like, Dr. Barty, I mean, I wanted to choke him sometimes.
It was like, why is he so hard on me? And it was
us. It was just
math ain't my thing. And I was like, I'll never get my degree if I don't pass this class. And it was smooth sailing. But I mean, after it was all over, it was just like, I knew what you could do, and I wasn't gonna let you do any less than that. So yeah, I'm like, I appreciate it, but at that moment, no, I didn't appreciate it at all.
Thanks again, Dr. Barty, but we did not.
I know, right?
We ain't like you for a little while.
Yeah. And I guess, it's the same, it's the same thing now. I'm preaching the same thing.
You're doing the same thing.
And they get mad. Yeah, they get mad, and it's like, okay, well, you'll get over it by tomorrow, and we'll do it all over again. So
that's true. So let's get into it, Key. How did your love for sports begin?
I guess
I'm not to cut you off. I asked that because I've known you all this time, and I never knew you were a Golden Girl at Longhorn. So I don't know if you played sports or how did it start for you?
I mean, I was a cheerleader.
Okay.
Right. At the time, though, they weren't considering cheerleading a sport, but I don't know. I think it's just growing up, like, I got a family of Jacksonians, and just we always coming to football games, and I spent a lot of summers at Alcorn because my aunt worked there, but I never had a desire to go until like right before my senior year of high school. And so that year, my senior year was Steve McNair's last season at Alcorn, and I went to just about every home game.
Gotcha.
And it was like when I say this, I don't say it just to like, but he made me fall in love with football. It was, I think it was like because it was a small school, he was so good and how that brought so many people, to campus. I mean, ESPN and I remember when what was it that Rob J the Sunday night sports?
Oh, like Blitz? No, that's for high
No.
school.
Um I cannot why I
I
cannot
know what you're talking about, but I
name.
can't
But
remember.
I used to like record it because
Wow.
I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything about Steve McNair. And so it was like that's how I started paying attention to the quarterback, position. And so in school, I was just like, if I had classes, with athletes, I would always ask them like kind of what do you do outside your sport? Like I don't care that you're an athlete, like
Right.
what your grades look like. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So I knew I always wanted to have some, I don't know. I can't even explain like where the desire came from so strong, but um I just always knew I wanted to have some affiliation with sports. And I think it probably was like when you see athletes and sometimes the things that they get into
Mhm.
outside of their sport. And it's like, okay, I don't know. I was just drawn to it. And I wanted to change my major to communications because I was like, I want to be a sports broadcaster. And I see you got Jane Kennedy back there. That is my girl. Um, so it was like I wanted to do that, but I was advised that I was like too far into my major. It'd be like starting all over again. And then it was this whole thing about, a woman doing that and a black woman. And I'm like, but she doing it, like, and at that time, being that age, somebody tell you that I didn't have okay, you just watch, I'm gonna show you. It was just like, well, maybe that wasn't meant to be. But the feeling never left me.
Okay. Yep.
And so when I discovered, like, okay, it doesn't have to just be broadcasting, it doesn't have to be just coaching. So when I found out more about the business side of it, and then,
Right.
digging in deeper and like, okay, we got academics, like not separated, but the athletes have more of a confined space, if you will,
Right.
you
Hmm.
know, to handle academics. So I was like, okay, this is this is where I want to be. And like we said, went back to grad school. I was about to get a second bachelor's
Hmm.
because at first Belhaven didn't have sports administration a master's program. So I
Right.
had started like a second bachelor's. And when they implemented the grad program, Dr. Barty was like, it just makes sense for you to, switch over.
Mhm.
And that's what I did. And so, I mean, I volunteered a lot. I thankful that I had coaches, who
Mhm.
listened to me and believed in me. They could see like I was really serious about it. So, they would allow me to, do things with, their teams or then I've worked like camps and everything with, friends in the NFL. Um,
I mean, we interned for our respective
yeah,
universities.
yeah.
She game day dealing with game day operations with Alcorn. I was dealing with game day operations with Jackson State. So this was serious. It was a
Mhm.
serious thing. Yeah,
So
I
I
agree.
got, I did all of that and I had been like doing this and learning this for like what, 4 or 5 years before I got my like first full-time position. And and then it was like everything just went real fast after that. Like it was grambling and then like somebody called me and was like, well, they need a director of compliance. And I'm like, so that ain't what I'm trying to do.
Right.
And I'm doubting myself because I'm like, I don't have the experience to move up that fast. But I mean, it wasn't up to me, so.
Yep. You have paid your dues. Like you said, you were doing it for free. Because when you do something you love for free, that's when you know it's a passion. And I'm
Mhm,
glad it happened for you, and me, because it's just since I was, I was a daddy's girl, so that's how I started watching. And I saw her, and I told my dad I want to do it. But
mhm.
8 years old, back in the 70s, 80s, we didn't have school, and a lot, like you said, a lot of women were not doing it. And
Nope.
so it was, but it never left me, just like you. So I'm glad it's working out for you. Um, Keisha, so you work with athletes on the educational side. How do you tailor tutoring and learning support to fit the unique schedules of athletes?
So, we basically try to follow well, I won't say we wait completely on, the coaches and practice or whatever, but it's like a collaboration, we have some sports who practice in the morning, some
Mhm.
practice like midday. Um, and so we tailor it to that.
Got you.
So if it's practice early in the morning, then after practice, you going to class or you coming in the study hall, you getting your tutoring done.
Mhm.
And I'm just thinking like football off the top of my head, but like they have like a block of time they come in and they get everything done, class, study hall, tutoring, all those things. And then it's like the evenings, of course, it's meetings and this and that. So it's like kind of tailoring it around
Their
their
sport.
their, their sport. Yeah.
And I'm assuming not all athletes have to come to tutoring,
Mm.
or it's just, okay, that's because I want to make sure. It's just certain athletes have to get a little more attention, and that's okay. Everybody
Yeah,
learns different, and that's okay.
right, right.
Okay,
Because like how we have like learning services set up is most of the newcomers, like freshmen transfers,
got you,
we have them on a learning specialist roster because, you know, whether they're coming straight from high school or they're coming from another, like a JUCO or another university, you just want to make sure that you get them in and get them acclimated,
got you.
get them in a routine here, and then sometimes we can kind of let them fly. But the freshmen have to stay with a learning specialist the entire year.
Got you.
So
Okay,
whether they need us or not,
you have
they're
to
going to be
stay.
on a roster because it's not just getting adjusted to academics. It's getting adjusted to being away from home, and
Yeah,
time management because mama and daddy not here to wake you up every morning and make sure you're here on time.
right.
So those are all the things like that we do around here.
Got you. Okay. Are there any specific programs or resources designed to help athletes balance academics and sport?
Um, they have a ton of stuff. I mean,
So it's no excuse. There's no
oh, not at
excuse.
all, not at all. I'm sure we probably have resources that I still don't know about because they have it to the point, and this is all students, not just athletes, but they have this system where they can go in and find their, current class load, and it will tell them all of the resources that are available to them
Wow.
in their department, here, whatever. Like everything that they can use to support them academically is pretty much laid out for them. So they don't have a reason to say, well, I didn't know or
No, I don't have, yeah,
yeah. So it's like that. And then we have tutoring services, which we have strategy, content, and writing tutors. So when we're hiring, it's like we have, quite a few like retired teachers, who they'll do like strategy. So that's like helping them with the time management, skills and planning out their weeks and those things. And then you have content, of course, for specific classes. And then writing, because some kids like they'll know the content, but they gotta write a paper. It's like, no, I need help. So
They don't know how to put it together.
right. So we have people specifically for writing. That's all they do. And we have it here, but there's a whole like center on campus, that is all they do every day.
Now, let me ask you this, and I pretty much know the answer to it, but I just want to talk about it. Because you're at a bigger university, you said you were at Grambling. I think you were at Langston at one time.
Lane,
Lane, I'm sorry.
mhm.
The resources are on a whole different level.
It's night and day.
Wow.
Like literally, it's no in between. It is night and day. Um, Shortly after I got here and had a conversation with my AD, and I remember him just giving me a rundown of where everywhere I had been. And he said, well, you've had the soup and salad. Now you got the all you can eat buffet. And I was like, you're right.
Yeah, it's
It was like the perfect, you know,
perfect
it,
analogy.
it just, I mean, the things that these students have, how I wish, how I wish that,
Yeah,
you know, this could be the case everywhere.
yeah.
Um,
And I'll say this,
Unfortunately, it's
this is
not,
our
but it's like, and I can speak to this because I've been in the spaces, and it's like it's being done at HBCUs and smaller schools, but of course you
not
have
on this.
one person who has to do like 10 different responsibilities. And it's hard to really like touch those students, and give them as much time as they probably need.
Yeah,
But of course you can direct them to campus resources and everything. But one thing about athletes is they're always with their team. And anytime they're outside of that, all of them are not going to be vulnerable. All of them are not going to say, I need help with this.
yeah.
They're going to tell us because they see us every day.
Mhm.
And even then, sometimes they're like afraid to say it because how does that make me look? I'm an athlete, I can do this and do that, but I don't want to be able to say I can't do anything. And for me, I'm like, I know you're good at athletics, but that ain't why we in here. So
Right,
whatever it is that's going on academically, if you don't understand it, you don't like a class, whatever, say it. Because I can't help you if I don't know.
right. I mean,
So,
you may be Superman on the field, but you're still human
yeah.
and need help, and that's
hmm
okay.
hmm And I just have my thing is once you walk in my office, whatever we discuss in here is confidential, unless it's something I'm legally required to report. So I always make that disclaimer so that I want them to know that they can trust me. You know, like you can come in here and if you having a bad day because you got some bad news at home or this is going on with your girlfriend or what, like sometimes I tell them they trust me too much because there's some stuff I wish I didn't have to hear, but they say it because they're comfortable and like, okay, but I
And they
really,
see you as their mom in a sense that they
yeah,
can talk more
yeah, it's
or
auntie. Yeah,
mhm,
it's that was coined like my first week here.
wow.
Um, and one of my students told me the other day, maybe you should have been a therapist. I was like, girl, you
Mhm.
have no idea.
But you are kind of therapist
Yeah,
without the degree.
yeah, yeah.
You are.
I mean, it is, and I really, Sonia, I can say that I can't see myself doing anything else because I know the impact that I have on my students. I know it.
I
Like
love that.
I have one who when she got here this semester, she talked when she absolutely had to. And when
Mhm.
you talking to her, it's like, get to the point, tell me what I need to know, and let me go. Now, she was just in my office a little while ago on the floor taking a nap.
Wow.
And I don't have this rigid approach to my students. I get to know them
Yeah.
because
Oh,
every
where they
week,
are, where they are.
right, right,
Mhm.
because I got some that I can get in mama mode with,
Mhm.
and it's okay. But then I got some that I gotta be a little more delicate, or I gotta
Yeah,
figure out another way
right.
and before you know it, it's like you have them doing stuff that they never, you have them ready to come to study hall.
That's a blessing.
So
That's
it's like, I need this to be a comfortable space for you. I don't want you to feel like you come to the principal's office when you come to see me.
right. That's true. Exactly. So, can you provide examples of how your services have positively impacted athletes' academic performance?
Oh, certainly. I mean, I always go back to football because every school where I've been, that population is more like, we just want to play football,
Mhm.
and then they're not thinking long term about anything. So to me, it's like just explaining to them, look, not saying, well, you just got to do it. I mean, yeah, you got to do it if you want to be eligible to play, but
Right.
it's just like, kind of giving some real life scenarios. They can be talking about something and I'll be like, see, you didn't want to do this, but if you do this, this will help you with, and
Right.
it's like bridging that together, like
Gotcha.
helping them see the big picture. And I haven't been anywhere yet where I don't have students who have graduated, gone on and have careers and families now who will still send me a text every now and again,
Yeah.
or, I'm applying for this job. Can I put you down as a reference? Or will you write this recommendation letter for me? Like, that is what I want to, that's what means a lot to me. And it lets me know that I did have an impact.
Yeah.
So it's just, I would say it's just all about being yourself.
Yeah.
Because when they know that you truly care about them, they'll do whatever you ask them to do.
And
No
and
pushback.
then they're able to flourish because they
Mhm.
know somebody is in my corner. It may have been a rough game, but I know I can go talk to Miss Shelby, and so that's a blessing. That really is.
And especially like being here
Mhm.
with all of the high profile athletes that we have here. Um, NIL is the thing now.
Yeah.
No, I don't care about how, this appearance.
Right.
Did you get this homework done?
Correct.
You know, that's all fine and good. I'm glad you got that new deal or whatever. But did you do this homework? Because my job depends on you doing this.
Right.
Um, it's just, yeah, just being real with them.
We're
Being
gonna we're gonna we're gonna sidetrack a minute. What are your thoughts on the NIL deals? I think we feel the same way, but go ahead. I want to hear what you gotta say.
so I'm not against it,
Mhm.
but it's it's becoming more and more of, for long, we're not gonna be doing school anymore.
And I hate that.
Yeah, we're not gonna be doing school. It's just gonna be really like how can I say it without it's just kind of gonna be like an entry level to a job, if that makes sense. You know?
And Keisha, I think we may have talked about this years ago, but I'm like you, I'm not against it. But my issue is I've always liked college sport because the hunger is different from professional because they're working for a check. I'm not saying the kids don't deserve to have NIL deals, but if they're gonna do it, my thing was get the NIL deal, put it like in a trust, give them a stipend every month, a certain amount of money, and put the other money up because it's like all they're doing is money grabbing now. It's about how much money I can get,
It's
what
about how
type
much
of
money.
sponsorships.
Mhm.
That's because the focus is gone, off just for real raw athletics to me.
Yeah.
It's not the same. And I hate that. And I just, I don't know. I'm like you, it's not gonna even be about school anymore in a minute. Like you said, it's an entry level job. That's a good way to look at it because,
Mhm.
and then I don't know.
Is
I'm
it
not
or it's almost like even if not entry level, like an audition, you know, which
Mhm.
is really when they playing. I mean, it's kind of what they're doing anyway. They want to, be good, be great, because they know the NFL, NBA, whoever is watching. Um, but yeah, like if I had a dollar for every time I heard, I didn't come here for this. I came here to play my sport. I know you did. But to play your sport, you got to do this.
That's good grades.
If you
Sorry.
don't, if you don't handle academics, you're not eligible. You don't play. So what's it gonna be?
That's right.
It's no in between. It's either or. So
Mhm. Oh well, moving on, because we can be all day.
yeah.
Keisha, do you all offer workshops on study skills, time management, or stress management specifically for athletes?
I wouldn't say workshops, but if they're on a learning specialist roster, that's what they get. Like time management, strategies, study skills, um, just being organized and
Mhm.
just really like teaching them to be independent.
Yeah,
That's the goal is to have them, not have to hang on to us, but become independent, learners or whatever. So, um,
yeah,
whenever they walk into any of our offices, like it's basically a workshop going on about one of those things. Um, but like the stress management, like I said, they come in here, they dump everything. And sometimes that's all they need is just to vent, to talk it out. But if I feel like there's something more, there, I don't try to be a therapist. I ain't trying to diagnose nothing.
right.
They have behavioral health just for them, just for
That's
the athletes. Like that's it. So I'm
that's
telling you, they have everything they need.
I see.
Everything.
So that's one of the strategies. I was going to ask you, what strategies do you recommend for managing coursework during intensive training or competition seasons? Like for football right now, it's very strenuous because they're practicing, they're trying to win championships. Do y'all suggest trying to get more rest? How do you help them
Um,
different
my
strategies?
I don't my advice is always pace pace yourself.
Okay.
You know, if you know you have an assignment due on Friday and it's Monday, why do you want to wait until Thursday to start doing it? Then you put that extra pressure on yourself and using football, because they're in season now, but why do you want to do that when you know Fridays you're either traveling or, if it's a home game, you got meetings, you got walkthrough, you got this, that. And then you do want to just rest, when you have the time to do that. So let's just get stuff out of the way when we can, you know. So I'm all about writing it down.
Yeah.
We go through their canvas. What do you have due this week? Let's make a plan of when it's going to get done, and so you're
Yeah.
not putting everything in one day. Spread it out, but if you do finish something else early and you can go ahead and do this, that's fine. But write it down, like organize your week and follow it. Don't just write it down for fun, just follow it.
And it stresses you out. Like you said, if you know you have something done Friday, needed by Friday, it's Monday, and then you wait till Thursday. That's stressful.
Mhm.
And when we started at Belhaven, I think that was probably one of the first online courses, programs. And it taught us, we knew we had to turn in papers on Saturday.
Yes.
Nothing
Time
else.
management was important.
We had Wednesday. So Monday it started over. So Monday I'm doing my Wednesday stuff. Wednesday, after Wednesday, I'm starting to work on my papers, so I can have it done. It didn't work like that all the time, but that was the goal. So you're
Right,
absolutely right.
right.
Have some balance so you won't stress yourself out. It is very, it can be time consuming. Well, we kind of just talked about that. Last question. How do you assist student athletes with academics planning for life after sports?
That goes back to what I mentioned, like getting to know them.
Okay.
Like, let's take sports out of it. Who are you?
Real.
What do you want to do with your life?
Mhm.
Yeah, I know you want to play professional, but
Everybody's not
we
going to
gon'
the.
we gonna put that to the side.
Mhm.
If that didn't exist, what would you want to do? Um, that question number one makes them think
Mm,
because a lot of them haven't even thought that far
that's true.
because they have their focus on one thing. Um, and then some of them are surprised at what they realize about themselves. Like, I could really do that. Um, I got a softball student who came and came here and she was like, I want to do like something in health or whatever. Then it was like, I hate bio, I hate chemistry. Wait a minute, girl. What you want to do now? So I said, well, what do you like? And she was like, I like government and I
Mm,
like to learn about history and that. I said, okay, well, so it was like, but I want to do something in healthcare. And I said, well, it sounds like you could do, because she even mentioned pre-law. And I said, well, you could do like sociology or pre-law or whatever. You can always be like an advocate for healthcare, like go that route. But I don't think you're saying that you really want to like practice any type of like actually be in the medical field.
right.
Because the way that you hate the main two classes, that's not gonna and she did. She was like, because we had like a major exploration night. So we
Mhm.
have like, department chairs and from majors or whatever, like to come over. And
Right.
it's just like a career fair, like the freshmen can just walk around and it's like, let's see what piques my interest.
I
And
love it.
yeah, she came back and she was like, yeah, I definitely want to do like pre-law or sociology or something like that. So, and that's the thing. It's just like asking them those questions.
Mhm.
Maybe like, what do you like to do outside of being an athlete? Because I want them to know who are you as a person?
Right. And I love the fact that, because sometimes, parents put pressure on kids. You need to be, that's you're gonna be the first doctor in the family, or you're gonna be the first lawyer and or engineer. And so because they're looking at the job, I mean, at the careers as you're gonna like make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money, but you can be unhappy because that's not what you really want to do. So um, coordinators like you and people in their lives like that help them see a different way, not pushing them from what their parents want them to do. I mean, but they have to want to be happy. This is their,
Hmm.
they have to want to do what's best for them. And it's so important, people like yourself that come into their lives and show them a totally different way, a whole new world, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Because I've told my story so many times. And they was like, you did all that just to end up. I was like, yeah. Because it was like doing what somebody else was doing or doing what other people said you should do. And I wasn't following what I really wanted to do.
Correct.
And that it did cause me to take a lot of detours because it's like I was just trying to find my way. And then I got on the right track and
That's
here I
the
am.
main thing about detours. They'll always take you back to the right exit.
Mhm.
It may take a little longer, but it
Yep.
gets you there. And that's the beauty of life.
Mhm.
You know, and I tell my nieces, because they're in their 20s, well, one just turned 30. You're thinking you have a lot of time, but when you look up, a
That's
decade has gone by.
yep.
So take advantage of your youth, take advantage of what you want to do, not
Mhm.
what we want you to do.
Right.
What
Right.
we hate.
Because I know that was definitely and of course I still say it to my son now, like, you do what's gonna make you happy.
Yeah,
And, luckily, he knew what he wanted to major in. He knew why he wanted to major in it. I mean, got his degree. He's working in his field. And I said, that doesn't happen like that with everybody.
not everybody. And
You
he
got
loves it.
people who majoring in one thing and doing something completely different. And I'm like, it was what, 6 months after graduation, he was walking into a full-time job. So,
And does he love what he does? That's a blessing.
yeah.
You're right. It doesn't happen like that all the time. So
Mm-mm.
that is
No.
a good.
And I
Keshia,
always told him I wanted him to focus more on that so it wouldn't take him as long as it took me.
yeah.
Like,
Love-
I know
love-
sometimes experience is the best teacher, but if I can at least try to steer you, then I want to do that.
And that's your job. And that's being a parent or aunt. It's the job to help steer them. They can still make their own decision, but at least you told them.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Keshia, thank you so much for joining the show today. But before we go, I play a game called What You Know. That's a way for the
Uh-oh.
listeners and myself to get to know the guest better. I'll ask you a few questions and you choose, the best one that fits. And it doesn't matter. It's not a test. I'm not a coordinator, so we're doing Alcorn trivia, so it should be easy for you.
Okay, let's see.
Well, I know you know this person for sure because I already know. Who was the first white football coach hired in Alcorn State University and SWAC history?
Jay Hobson.
Is he in South Alabama still?
Mhm.
Okay, that's good. How many appearances have the Braves made in the Celebration Bowl?
Three.
Correct. What SWAC teams have won the Celebration Bowl?
Grambling and Fam.
Correct. Who was the winningest football coach at Alcorn?
Gotta be Coach Castle.
Correct.
Okay, my mind went like, woo.
Right. He coached Alcorn State Braves from 1964 to 85, leading the team to 4 Black College National Championships,
It
and
was like
7
7. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, I knew it was 7 SWAC, but I couldn't remember
The 4 Black
yeah.
national titles. Well, of course, you know this person. Who was in the class of 1996 with Lester Earl, Tim Thomas, Kobe Bryant, Mike Bibby, and Jermaine O'Neal, and was rated as the #1 18th best prospect in America. He chose to go to an HBCU when it wasn't cool.
Wait, this basketball?
He was in the class with Kobe, Tim, Lester Earl. You better know this. because you know him personally and very well.
Basketball?
Mhm. 1996.
HBCU, not Alcorn, right?
He went to Alcorn. He chose.
Girl, Lindsay.
No,
No, that was before.
1996. Lindsay was already in the league.
Right, he was already 1996.
He gonna get you. Brian Wanky Adams.
Oh, look, I was about to say, and I was like, but you know what I was thinking? I was thinking draft.
Okay, yeah.
I was thinking draft. And I'm like, who? Oh, yeah, girl. I know he's gonna see this. My bad, Wanky.
I'm gonna tell him.
It's like 96. So, yeah, I was thinking draft. I wasn't
that's
thinking
not
like,
important.
yeah, okay, my bad.
Of course, you know this. Who is the winningest basketball coach in Alcorn history? Coached the Braves to the first NCAA tournament win ever by an historically black university with a 76-2 victory over South Alabama in 1980. His first love was baseball. He played shortstop for the Kansas City Monarchs in the Negro League, and he is known as the Wiz.
David Whitney.
Coach Whitney, rest in peace. Of course, you know this one, a great quarterback for Alcorn and NFL. Holds many records, including most yards gained in a career against a single opponent, and he led the Tennessee Titans to the Super Bowl 34.
Steve Air McNair.
Yep. A wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. Was the team's all-time leading receiver. He was a member of the Packers team that won Super Bowl 45. Your boy.
Donald Quickie Driver.
Last but not least, a player who earned the nickname Ripsaw for his tenacious tackles. He holds the record for the most tackles in a single season in Alcorn history.
That's Dr. Johnny Thomas.
Dr. Johnny Thomas.
Yeah, because at first I said, wait, it's not Dennis. It's definitely Johnny.
Yeah, you only missed one.
I know, and that was just a brain fart, because
Right.
I wasn't like when you were saying Kobe, and I'm like, because I know Kobe went straight from high school to the pros, so that's why my mind was like,
Right. Yeah, they were in class together.
yeah,
Yep.
wow, that was.
Sure was. Isn't that something? Mike Bibby, Lester Earl. That's crazy. I mean, yeah. That's my dude. Yeah. Keshia, tell the listeners how they can follow you on social media. I know your Facebook is probably private, but I don't know.
Yeah, I have to look at my own Twitter thing because I don't be remembering. I just get on there. Well, sorry, not Twitter, but X. K Shelby Sports.
K Shelby Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And guys, you can follow me on Facebook as She Say Sports. On Instagram, She Say Sports 23. And please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Well, until next time, this is Sonia with She Say Sports.
She say.